And we're live.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. This is the Wolfram Summer Science Live Coding Championship. We have our contestants ready. They know the rules. We will show a question, which will appear here for everyone who's watching live. And we will get our answers in. We'll take a look at them. And you all get to vote what your favorite answer is. With that being said, my name is Robert Mendelsohn. I will be emceeing it with my co-host, Jeff C. Friedman, over there in the captain chair. And big thank you to all the staff who made this possible, as well as the contestants. This will be a fun time. I want a clean fight. I want a fair fight. Should be very interesting. And without any further ado, let's get question number one. Okay. Question one, ball of string. Pick any function listed on the documentation guide page, string operations, and create a new function that re-implements the basic functionality of the original without using the original function within your new function. Inception, function within your function, okay. Demonstrate your new function using the first example on the documentation page for the original. Make sure to indicate in a comment or text cell which function you chose to re-implement.
Okay, let's take a look at that documentation page. I would like to see what is on that documentation page. And you can't click it on the leaderboard. It's a trick.
Okay. You know what? It's good because we have good SEO due to the hardworking people at Wolfram Research. And we can take a look at, we're looking at string operations.
String operations.
Very good. Wow, look at all these options that they have to choose from. Amazing. And let's see, wow, there's a lot of good ones here.
So which of these do you reckon, without writing any code, which do you think would be the easiest and hardest to re-implement? Not without using that function, of course, as the question specifies.
That's a good question. It's really dependent on your coding style. You know, some of these would be pretty low level. String join might be hard to get around. I don't know. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Let's see. Well, any of the pattern matching stuff is...
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, I was going to say pattern matching stuff is hard, but you can always do like string match q, string contains q, whatever, to sort of manually invoke string pattern matching. So if you were doing string cases, you might... yeah, I'm not sure. How would you do string cases? Maybe you could use string position. Yeah.
Hash is probably going to be a pretty difficult one.
Yeah.
Import and export string is probably
definitely. Yeah.
Right, something to interpret JSON.
Although you could go through, you could probably go through import and export byte array. So just do a string to byte array or byte array to string conversion. Because I mean, there's nowhere in the question does it say you can't use a similar function that's not the function that you're trying to re-implement. You just can't use that one particular function.
Find something somewhat adjacent. That's a good point.
Yep. No self-reference allowed.
I'm not seeing any answers quite yet. Is that what you're seeing as well, Jesse?
Yep. Yeah. I think our contestants might just be taking a little while to evaluate the question. And
it's the first one.
Yep, it's the first one. First one's always a bit slower. That's fine.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. It's gotta get your feet wet and see what's good here. Yeah, there's quite a lot of options though, which is nice. So there should be hopefully an interesting number of different approaches. Fine clusters. That would be.
Oh yeah,
pretty,
that's tricky.
We have a job for you at Wolfram Research. If in the next 2 minutes you can implement fine clusters.
Absolutely, yes. Contact our HR department.
Or hiring, contact me. I'll get the finder's fee. I think that's.
Oh yes, yep. You can get the referral.
I spotted you. Fine clusters, yeah. But yeah, that would be pretty impressive. But good luck.
So, Robert, shall we try re-implementing one of these, or at least talking over how we might do so?
Yeah, I mean,
we don't care about giving hints to our contestants. We know that they are ethically sound and will not make use of such an unfair advantage.
Yeah, although we could maybe pick a weird one that people weren't going to do anyways. But yeah, is there one that jumped out to you?
Let's see. Well, now I'm wondering characters. How would you re-implement characters without doing characters? Maybe something with string cases.
Yeah, you know what you could do. I got this one actually. Sorry if you're working on this. I think you could just do string split.
Tricky.
And then if you give it an argument of something blank, I think that does the trick.
There you go. Got it. Okay. Nobody steal that. If you do steal it, we will definitely know.
I will know. Yeah. It's a copyright. You'll, take you to court. You stole my code.
Mm-hmm.
It's Wolfram original. What's it called?
Let's see. So sort and alphabetic sort. Remind me, what is the difference between the two? Or should we can check? I bet there's a comparison.
I think sort, the default behavior if you give it a string, a list of strings. Oh, we just got a first answer. Wonderful. Congratulations,
Jonah.
Jonah.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Jonah.
I'll copy it into a cell. We'll take a look at it. All right. In fact, let me pull this up into here. And
now, Jonah, I am concerned, may not have noticed one of the conditions of the question.
Oh, appears to be using the word in the.
Yes, so you're re-implementing the function. Let's see. So yeah, you're re-implementing the function string join, but you are not allowed to use the function string join in re-implementing the function string join. Now, so let's see. So, we've got another one from.
I see. Oh, good.
We've got another one from Jonah.
Oh, and we also have an entry from Matthew. Good job. I see you changed your name as well. Wonderful. Yeah, good. So let's see. Okay, so this is Jonah's redemption. Good. String length, word characters length. See, it doesn't use length, so nice.
Yep. Can't get simpler than that. Excellent.
Yep. Good. Okay, accepted. I should maybe write that down. That's an accepted answer.
Yeah, you can just put like the section cells in between with the.
Yes,
or subsection with the name.
Much better idea. Jonah. So, cool.
And maybe get rid of the string join, since I assume Jonah's second answer is preempted or whatever, overridden his first.
Yes, and we will give you that one, first one, no problem. All right, cool. We've got an answer from Matthew. Let's take a look.
Oh, and just to clarify our scoring paradigm, these are not scores. This is just the order in which we've gotten answers. And once we have 5, I believe, we will close the question and put the names up on the Twitch poll for audience members on Twitch to vote on your favorite answer. And the first place will get 5 points, second place gets 4 points, third place gets 3 points, and fourth and fifth place both get 2 points. Is that right, Scott? Did I mess that up, or is that I think that's it.
Sorry, distracted for a second. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1, 1. That sounds better. That makes more sense. See, I don't even know how we do scores.
Interestingly, Matthew is also re-implementing string length.
Interesting.
Has this curious message. It's an interesting interpretation on a common theme of Hello World, and uses the string to byte array, which is curious. Yeah, that's an interesting function to use.
Well, if you think about it, it's similar to characters. But I think it's not exactly the same. So what if can you try, go ahead and say that. Try sticking in the one of the test strings for string length. Try putting in like some Unicode character. Like, I'm not sure how to get like an alpha or something.
I always mess this up if you like that, right?
That might still be in ASCII, but there we go. Okay, so that became 14.
Yeah, it counted as 2.
So because string to byte array by default encodes the string as UTF-8, and in UTF-8, it's because the whole point is to represent more than 256 characters using a 256 alphabet, so to speak. You have 256 possible numbers in one byte. So UTF-8 is going to encode, I believe, characters above 127, I think, as 2 or more bytes. So it's not a perfect re-implementation of string length, but it's pretty good.
I'll count it as good.
Yes, I certainly think it qualifies.
It's kind of neat that it has that behavior, though. It's kind of a non-trivial.
Yeah, it's kind of its own thing. It's like UTF-8 string length.
So this is a string reverse. So let's just try it with a slightly different one. Okay, seems to work. Let's see how this works. So we get string part, a table of string part. Calling the negative indice.
And I think we have 5 solutions now. I've just been eyeing the thing.
We have rule.
what do you think? Shall we close the question, or
We just got 4 because we've got 2 from Jonah.
oh, is that okay? I count 5, excluding Jonah's first one.
Let's go through this. Let's figure out. Okay, so we have 2 from Jonah, fine. Matthew.
2 from Jonah,
Assad.
2 from Matthew, or 2
from
from Assad, and 2 from Rule. So we're still at 4 people.
I see. Yeah, and I think there are 2 copies maybe of Assad's. Maybe Assad corrected has a correction in his second.
Or he's just took a couple different ones, which is neat.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So string reverse. This is good. Just kind of using table to go through the different parts of the string, and then.
And Assad asks us to use his second answer, so let's grab that one.
Let's see, where's
we have faith in you, Assad, that there's a good reason for that.
I think this is the second. Oh no, is it? No. Let's take a look. What's the difference between the code? Well,
I think the difference may be between maybe the that's rules, I believe. I think the difference in Assad's is in the test string that he tests it with.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's good. Kudos for that. See, it's copying over weird. Okay, but
make sure you're selecting the cell brackets, I guess.
You know what? That's actually exactly the problem. I'm glad to have you here, Jesse. Look at this.
No problem. Someone asks.
Like
someone asks, "Is he on the bridge of the Enterprise?" I assume they are referring to me because I'm the only one here who is on the bridge of the Enterprise. I am. Nobody else is. That's your answer. You're welcome.
Let's see. What is this? Which one is this meant to imitate?
Rule. Which function are you trying to?
String split, I guess it is.
String split or characters. Rule. It would be. Oh, okay.
Right.
This one says.
Sorry.
What was it?
I made a mistake. Sorry.
Okay.
Please don't.
Okay, no problem. And it would be good if you write your code in the format of a function, so that it can be it's like just the same as the function that you're re-implementing. So that's okay. You can go ahead and resubmit another when you have that. So back to sort and alphabetic sort.
Yes.
I can't remember what the difference is. It might say on the page for alphabetic sort.
Yeah, and so even when I've needed to sort strings, I've been using sort, and my understanding is the default behavior is if you give it a bunch of strings, it'll do it in alphabetic order. But I wonder what alphabetic sort. Yeah, so it's just maybe a more explicit version of that. It's nice. It makes the code more readable, I guess.
Yeah. Are there any examples that compare it with sort, maybe under properties and relations?
Yeah, good question. See, alphabetic order. It's curious, and you got to specify.
Okay, so you can that's cool. You can customize the case ordering. I still don't know if it is if in default behavior it's identical to sort or not.
So we have a solution from Ed. Wonderful.
Okay, and I want to give Rule a chance to give a fixed function version of his.
Sure. Oh, this is a neat bit of code. Look at this. So what Ed has done, this is clever, is to get the character codes for the string, subtract 32, which shifts it into the ASCII, I guess that's capital, and then reinterpret it. That's a short little bit of code.
Now I'm wondering why is it 32 and not 26? I don't remember what is between uppercase and lowercase letters in the ASCII ASCII.
You know what? I guess we can figure that out. Let's take a look here. In fact, let us add a Z in here, and then we can probably. Okay, so what is from character code?
Or that's the lowercase though. We want to see the what's after uppercase. I think you could maybe an easier way would be like mapping it over a range, mapping from character code.
Yeah. Table. So say from 60 to 100, and then.
From character code of X, I guess.
X and let's maybe have a little.
Okay. But the now we're looking at wait, is this the so is lowercase first?
You know, it's a good question. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, so uppercase appears to be first. Oh, and then there's
yeah,
some
there we go.
special characters.
There it is. So let's see, what is it? It's a square bracket slash another square bracket, caret, underscore, I think, and backtick.
Yeah, underscore, backtick, and then it goes.
Okay, cool. Okay, and I think we have a solution from rule now.
We do indeed. So let's copy that back here. And
Ooh.
what do we have? 2 uppercase. Get the characters, map position of to lowercase, flatten, alphabet Spanish, index character.
Yeah, what is that?
What is going on here? Okay, so let's see if it,
I have no idea.
let's see if it works. So with the addition of, I don't know if string join does that have to be there? No, it's good. So, oh, curious.
Ooh.
Look at the unexpected behavior.
How would you even pronounce that? How do you pronounce an enye without a vowel after it? I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
Better minds than me have thought long about this question. But I wonder how much this alphabet Spanish index character thing is having to do with it. But it's a neat answer.
It is an answer.
It seems to work in some cases, so fine, we'll take it.
Yep, I think we've got our 5, so I'm going to close the question if that's all right with you, Robert.
It's perfectly all right with me. Excellent.
Okay, time is up and the question is closed. So we've got our 5 names, and Avery, the best person ever, is going to, as I was saying that, he put the poll up on Twitch.
Oh, look at this.
There
and
we go.
the poll is up. And the time is rapidly decreasing. We have 1 vote in for Ed.
Yes, and I believe you have 2 minutes to vote. Is it 2 minutes? Maybe that looks more like 1 minute. I don't know.
We have 2 votes in for. Oh, Jonah just got a vote.
Find out.
Nice. Okay, and let's take a look at actually what the.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes according to Avery for everybody
pretty
on
even
Twitch
so
to
far.
vote. And if you are on YouTube and you are confused because you don't know how to vote, I believe you have to go to the Stephen Wolfram Twitch channel and watch on Twitch instead in order to vote for your favorite contestants, favorite solutions, rather.
Indeed.
Oh, and you want to maybe uncollapse those cells so we can see their solutions. So if anyone who missed
that
them,
might be fun.
wants to see
our own kind of code ramblings in there as well. I probably should segment that out, but
yeah. So we've got, let's see. So Ed, Ed had a beautifully concise,
very nice short little thing there.
Yep,
Using
very
a
nice.
pretty
It's,
interesting.
although I will note it's not a function, but
true.
I'll let Ed pass on that for now. For now, Ed. And then let's see, string reverse. That's cool. So table, and then for each character in the string, we're replacing it with the character that is the same distance from the end of the string instead of the front.
Yeah, it's good. And
then Matthew, string
Matthew,
to byte array, UTF-8 string length. That's what it is, but that could be useful. That's a potentially useful thing. There isn't a built-in function for that, I will point out. So
that's curious, actually. That's an interesting point. And finally, we have Jonah with characters and then length.
Yes, also very nice and concise. And Ed is in the lead, lead of 1 point over Jonah, and we've got a couple seconds remaining.
Yeah. And it's gone to Ed.
It goes
Very
to
nice.
Ed.
In second place, Jonah. Then Matthew is solid and roll. So wonderful.
Amazing.
Take a look at the leaderboard.
There we go.
Cool. Excellent.
Okay. That was fast. Scott, you did that way faster than me. The leaderboard, that is.
I realized that while I'm just sitting there watching the numbers, they're not changing that fast, and I can enter the names and change the rankings if needed. See,
that is what we in the computer programming world call optimization. You optimized my algorithm for inputting scores into the leaderboard. Congratulations, Scott. You get to do this for every competition in the future going forward. I'm out.
I just sprained my ankle, so I'm going to have to withdraw myself from helping out.
Oh, you have one of those ankle keyboards?
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't heard of an ankle keyboard. Where do you get those, and how does it work?
From the ankle keyboard store.
That makes sense.
So I have a question.
Yes, we've got a question.
So the function has to work for the first example.
Yes. Does it say that? Yes. It says it has to work for the first example on the documentation page. Does one of these not?
We probably didn't test it properly.
We probably did not. Well, it actually doesn't say it has to. It just says demonstrate it. And the people have spoken. So we are a direct democracy here. Didn't work for the Romans, but it's working for us because we're the Wolfram Summer School. So we are a direct democracy, the will of the people. is our will, and the will of the people is that Ed wins.
To be fair, I liked Ed's answer the best, but it only works if you use lowercase letters. If you use anything else, it just fails because it's shifting by 32. So if you use like an
Fair
uppercase
point.
letter.
Well, in this case, beauty trumps function, apparently, according to our live stream viewers, and they are who matter.
Speaking of which, I'm hearing from them. They want the next question.
Okay, so, next question. Let's see. Next question is going up now. Oh, I think I just clicked the button for the first question again. Hold on. I knew they shouldn't have put me in charge.
Trick question. It's the same question.
Okay, there we go. Question 2. You should be getting that now.
A whole new dimension. Define a function, plot 4D, or list plot 4D, and show an example of its use.
That's crazy. Plot 4D. What is a 4-dimensional plot? I mean, if you think about it, we already have, well, maybe I shouldn't give it away, but a possible solution is to think about what 3D plotting functions we already have, already exist in the Wolfram language, and which of them can be, in a sense, considered to be a 4-dimensional plot. But maybe for now, we could take a look at the documentation pages for the 2D and 3D and 1D plotting functions. 1D.
You know, it's a good open-ended question where there's definitely a lot of different possible answers, and it's pretty creative 4D kind of stuff. So we'll see what people end up saying for it. But,
and in a sense, you only need to add 2 of the existing functions together. Plot, like 2D plot plus 2D plot equals 4D. So maybe that's a way to do it, or 3D plus 1D.
There is indeed a person working on 4-dimensional visualizations, something a bit more complex than what we're talking about here, but that'll be interesting. It's a cool project that I look forward to seeing what goes on with it. But y'all are probably familiar with these beautiful functions we have for visualizing things.
And then,
indeed,
so
if you were there, good.
Oh, you know, you can go ahead, Robert.
If you were there for the Michael Full talk, we were asking him about what his favorite function was, and it was plot. All the functions we have, he says he uses it the most, etc. And
if you're on the live stream, you're envious that you were not in the Michael Full talk, probably. But that may be published on YouTube at some point, or not. I don't know.
I think we might actually run into some copyright issues with that. But he, for those who don't know, is an astronaut, legit astronaut. He even had the blue jumpsuit when he gave his talk, and was on board the Soviet space station when it almost was destroyed. So very, very crazy, cool talk. Awesome guy.
And that is why everybody who's watching the live stream right now and is not part of the Wolfram Summer School should apply next year to attend the Wolfram Summer School, because we have lots of great guest speakers, and you don't want to miss out on astronauts. We had 2 astronauts this year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
2 astronauts.
Okay. We're very fortunate.
That is out of this world.
Thank you.
That is indeed out of this world. Except I think they were on Earth for the for their talks. I think we're in Moscow and wherever Michael was, somewhere in England.
England. You know, very international crowd, I suppose. Although both
so
were NASA astronauts.
Yeah. So we've got plot, which plots a function, and then list plot. So list and then list plot, which takes a list, I believe. That's not on this page.
The discretized version. Yeah, I think this is for mostly for, you know.
Yeah, these are continuous functions.
Yeah. Or ideally they would be, but well, that looks like it might not be. But here's some of the discrete function visualization. Yeah, there's list plot.
There we go.
Some of these are just so beautiful. The areas I operate in are not always able to use these, but you know, just really great.
I always wonder, how do they choose the default colors? How much effort and thought goes into picking the default colors and color functions for these?
I bet a ton. Functions? I bet there's a ton of effort into a lot of these things. And, you know, I wonder how there must be so many meta algorithms for visualizing things. I'd be really curious to learn more about how that works. But it's great that you don't have to, that it just works without having to think about it really. Let's see what we have here. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff. Kind of wonder then, how do you visualize 5D or 6D kind of stuff? Is it true that if a contestant, for instance, gives us an answer that visualizes data in 5D, that they have succeeded in visualizing in 4D as well, or not so much?
Well, as long as their function is called listplot4D, in principle at least, whatever it does not matter. All that matters is the opinion of our esteemed live stream audience on whether that solution correctly satisfies the constraints of the question.
It's up to the mob, you know, to determine Oh, look at this.
Wolfram Research has succumbed to mob rule. It's been
Yes.
30 years coming.
33, I think it's been.
33.
Yeah.
Wow.
Third of a century. It's amazing.
Wow. Yes. Third of a century rounded down.
Yes. I guess was in 3 months, it'll be exactly 1/3 of a century. That's
Will it?
curious. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are we going to celebrate that?
We should. I think that'd
Should.
be, I don't know what the appropriate thing would be to be, but that's quite a milestone when the average business doesn't last 5 years,
Really?
It's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So can we take a look at some of these, the list plot? I know you were showing some already, but like list plot, 3D, list point plot.
Yeah, list point plot 3D is a new one in 12.3 if I'm not. No, it's not. List point plot 3D. List line plot 3D is the new one.
It did say new. It was new in something.
Updated in 12.1.
Updated in
then-
12.1.
Yeah, but there's list line plot 3D is the new one, if I'm not mistaken. So I was very excited for this. I like to plot kind of some, if you want to plot the trajectory of something, etc. There was only kind of a hackish way to do that by having, creating these objects that happen to line up with the points. But this is a wonderful function. Wow, look at that. That's neat. Copy that code. Take a look at that in more detail. Let's see. Any solutions yet?
Nope, I don't see any yet.
It's a tough one, huh? People are.
Yeah. Wonder what approaches they're going to take.
This.
Do you have any ideas? How would you do a 4-dimensional plot?
Yeah, so I'll tell you initially what I was thinking about is about using color. So using color or density. So this already does 4D, so this would be a bad answer.
Oh, wow.
Because, so it's a 3D thing, right? Except I need the data, of course. And, it's interesting because this can work in some cases, like in this case where most of your data points are at the edges, but if they were internal, it could be obfuscated. You're playing with either the color or opacity to represent the 4th dimension. So this is good in some applications, I think. But if you have sparse data, then color, or opacity is probably a good choice. The question is, what happens if you have very dense data? And it's not entirely clear what to do. So I'll be curious to see what people say. Oh my, I'm at 6%. Wow. Are people nervously looking at that?
We all are.
I don't understand what the deal is here. It's plugged in, etc. Very sad.
It's just the incredible power consumption of live coding commentary.
Yes, my speech is so information rich that to compress it is almost impossible.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. You've got Zoom running. Yeah.
Yep. In Mathematica, and it is not happy.
Zoom's probably running at 150% CPU right now, so it is using more power than can be conveyed into the computer.
Is that compression, or what would you think that would be?
Yeah, I think it's compression and encoding your video into whatever compressed form. Probably not very compressed, but compressed form is used by Zoom.
Yeah, it is not liking this.
So like this plot that we've got here, this is already, in a sense, 4D, is it not? Because we've got our 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of color.
Well, so it's a good question. So I think in this case, the color, I think, maps onto the same thing being displayed, but if it was mapping onto something else, it certainly would be 4D, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're saying you can't display any arbitrary point as a given color. Okay, yeah, I see. That's why you were mentioning the density density plot function.
Right. That if you could make it an arbitrary value, and I'm sure you could, then you would have a 4D thing. But yeah, very nice.
So then I suppose list point plot 3D, which I believe we had. Maybe you just showed that. That can display arbitrary points. Do we have a list? We have a list point plot 3D.
Yes.
That can display arbitrary points at arbitrary locations with arbitrary colors. So
yes,
that 4 dimensions.
I think it is
up to our audience, but I'd say it probably is. So here the colors are per series. So we've got our sine in the center that's blue, and then the cosine. And wait, there are only 3. Why are there?
Oh, because it's a table of this.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's a table of that over 4. So, okay, my bad.
Yeah, because this is the XYZ coordinates.
Right.
they-
I got it.
Iterated 4 times.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. It's a series, but it could be without too much difficulty with a color function or something. You could
Mhm.
use data to map on it. It's interesting. It's pretty easy to see what's going on with the points here because they're pretty well, spaced. I guess just spaced enough to see it. It's maybe
Yeah.
more obvious with this. Although, yeah, good. Do we have a
Oh, we
Oh,
just
we had
got one as you spoke. Oh, and your battery, I think it just went up 1% from 4.
Wow. Whoa. Okay.
For all of those Robert's battery fans in the audience who are keeping close tabs on Robert's battery level, we've got live color commentary on Robert Mendelsohn's battery charge level.
It's we had to up the stakes and we had to kind of increase the nervousness of the audience, like James Bond movie. The clock is ticking down. This
Yeah,
is the
that
clock,
battery
man.
level, that's actually not real. Scott has a slider on his desk that's linked directly to your battery level display in the toolbar, and Scott is just jiggling that up and down to give us plot, basically. So yeah, you might want to reevaluate that because the dynamic does not come over the pipe, over the magical
That's all right.
mechanism that we're using to collect answers.
So we appear to have a list plot 4D, and it's interesting. It takes a single value, which is curious.
Value.
Very interesting because it's not a list, but it looks like maybe he generates a list using this function, which good for you. Oh, we have a second solution as well.
And nowhere does it say, nowhere do we say anything about what your function plot 4D or list plot 4D must do. Only that it must be called one of those names. And I'll say we're case insensitive, just to be nice. So this one's okay.
So this is curious. So it's a list plot 3D, it looks like. List point plot 3D. But it is moving, it's using time as the fourth dimension.
The fourth dimension of time.
Visualizing some wave or something. So this is nice. Yeah, this is a pretty standard approach, but I think the result is nice. And I like the use of the list animate function. A lot of people are maybe not aware of that, but
Church Turing thesis says that your battery is their favorite participant.
I will say I've looked at both of the submissions and they go in two very different directions, and I thoroughly enjoy both of them.
That's
Excellent.
awesome. Let's see. What's the second one?
Here, I'm about to copy it, and it's from Assad, except I need to add this.
And Church Turing thesis is, well, I don't know. Maybe the relationship between the person behind that username and their real name is not public knowledge. So I will not say what Avery just told me, but that's someone at the summer school.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, when I watch the live streams, I see that username quite frequently commenting interesting stuff. So I don't know if they're an insider. I don't want to out them if they are.
Now, are they commenting interesting stuff on the live streams in which they themselves are a participant?
I don't know. I am not aware.
I have questions.
Of the it's in the interesting. That actually makes a lot of sense. No, I will not disclose who it is, but very cool. Look at this. Okay, so Assad's thing is to make a plot of 4D, which is very literal, but it's creative, and let's see how
it satisfies. It is not a function, I will point out, but no.
I'm impressed with this because they had to sit here and figure out what points to use to draw this out.
And I like the is it the D that is that those two equations or functions that are being plotted?
Yeah, because that seems like a half of a sphere.
Why are there two of them? They're identical. Oh no, one's minus, one's plus.
Yeah, so they have to do the top bit is 1 and the bottom.
Tricky. Right. They break at 3. I see.
Yeah, this is a
that's impressive.
Yeah, no, I like this answer. I'm impressed they were to do this in such a short time. This is a nice answer.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Robert, we're losing your audio a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I went to unmute myself and accidentally muted Jesse.
Thanks, Scott. I'll try not to take it personally. I mean, I know so many people want to mute me.
So good. Yeah, an interesting approach by both. I wonder, I guess, to come up with this certain stuff, you could make an arbitrary, write out arbitrary stuff like this.
Yeah, plot arbitrary dimensions.
You could, what's it called? Have different kind of fonts, etc. I guess as well. It's a geometrical one.
here's a question for a function such as this one that does the same thing as this. Plot nd that plots the number n and then the letter d. What is the maximum n that you could use and like still have it work and fit within memory and return a result instead of crashing because it uses too much memory? I don't know. It has something to do with probably mostly with the number of digits in n, but it also has to do with the complexity of the digits,
That's true.
the characters in them. So
because obviously the curves have, it seems, a lot more complexity than the more linear kind of components.
Looks like we have a third solution in from Ed, who's currently in first place.
All right, let's run it. Oh, I like the colors on this already.
Oh, and we have a fourth one from Jonah.
Wonderful. Oh, look at this.
Ooh, pretty.
I know, I like the pretty colors, I'm easy to please with that, I guess.
And here, yeah, this is an example of using a custom color function. So Ed has explicitly specified that each point should be colored by its RGB color value. So taking X, Y, and Z to be red, green, and blue, respectively. So I think this is what we were talking about, isn't it? It's 3D plus color. Oh no, it's time as well. Okay, so I guess
it's 3D, but it appears as though its actual height is being represented by the color.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I guess the time is just for show.
But I think this is a better answer than what I was talking about, because otherwise it would just change the bulk color of everything according to time, right? So good answer, and I like the explicit color function, and it's a pretty result.
Very nice. Now you could I was going to say you could use RGB color as that color function, but I actually don't know because the color function plot 3D might give more than 3 arguments, and we really only want the first 3 arguments. Depending on the function, the color function syntax that it gives the function that you give varies. So.
Oh, like whether you don't need this function stuff, you could just use RGB here. Yeah, we can try that. That's curious. Let's see. So we have a fourth answer from Jonah.
Yeah.
Which I will post, and then let's real quick. I think it's curious whether this will work if you just get rid of this.
Oh, and I noticed that is that Ed is using set instead of set delayed to define this. Oh yeah. Well, okay, that's interesting. Ed used set instead of set delayed to define this function. I suspect that's just a simple typo, but it happens to sort of work because it is returning. What is it returning? Where Oh, so okay, the input values X, Y, and Z are not actually used. They're discarded, and then it's a fixed ranges 0 to 3, 0 to 3, and -1 to 1. So, does this qualify, technically speaking, as a function, even though it ignores its inputs? I mean, even if it ignored its inputs, it would still be a function. But is it using set instead of set delayed? Is it still a function? I'm not sure, but we'll allow it. We'll assume that that's just a simple typo, missing the colon on there.
It achieves its objective, in my opinion.
Indeed, it returns a nice visualization.
Apologies, I can update that. I wasn't sure how functional the function actually had to be, but I can update.
No worries.
That, yeah.
We'll let you through on this one. It clearly it's a good faith submission. That's what we're looking for here at the Wolfram Summer School live coding competition 2021. I just read that off the leaderboard. I don't remember what the name is. Good faith answers. That's what we're looking for.
I'm seeing an issue with the with this, but it could very well be the fact that maybe I've already defined plot 4D. Let me run it again.
Yeah, that
clear
maybe.
Is that a decent solution?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you could do clear all of plot 4D or something. Or you still there, Robert?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay.
Well, in good news, it's gone up to 6, so we're doing great here.
Yeah.
So let's try this.
Got a second wind. Your battery, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
still nothing. So can we figure out what is this trying to do? It's a little opaque. We've got the a definition of a function, and then we're defining. What is that second thing with X, RST, etc.? What exactly is that? Well, it's set of a list. So we're saying x of RST equals r sine s cos times cosine t. But it's an immediate set. It's set, not set delayed. So does that matter in this case? I would think it might.
Let's see what the
but it works in the output. It does return. Those are at least returning.
But
maybe if Jonah, if you're able to maybe clean this up so that it does whatever you're expecting and doesn't depend on any like predefined things, that would be awesome. Just let us know. I mean, it satisfies the constraints of the question, which are very broad. Just define a function, plot 4D, and that is what Jonah did. So,
indeed,
we never asked for the function to work.
Absolutely, yep, that's intentional.
Yep, it's true.
Or not. It's actually not intentional at all. I wrote the questions. That was not intentional. Let's pretend it was intentional.
It has something to do with the arguments here that they probably need to.
It looks like they have to be. Yeah, there's kind of a like conflicting expectations here. Plot 4D, it was expecting explicit arguments x of RST, and we're giving it explicit arguments, but x of RST also have definitions assigned to them, so they get transformed into something else before they reach the function. Oh, has he done it? Has Robert Mendelsohn cracked the solution? Well,
we have
depends on what it originally did. Depends on what it's supposed to do. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do.
It's so interesting to see how other people write Wolfram language code. I don't work on a team that has like a particular linting or kind of way that they do things, and so it's sort of homebrew, whatever way you like it. And when you read other people's code, you see what functions they like to go do, and I thought about one point about making like a Wolfram language personality test, right? Like, submit, your answer to this kind of programming question, and we'll tell you, are you more of a recursion person? Do you prefer to use, part versus kind of list versus associations versus data sets? And there's definitely multiple flavors of Wolfram language.
That would be awesome. The Wolfram language personality test. I would love to see that.
What do you think the dimensions of that would be? What do you think the different kind of
that's a good question. Yeah, would it be like a 4-dimensional thing like MBTI? Perhaps we could define it using the Wolfram language. We could set any number of dimensions and then do a dimension reduction using the dimension reduce function to reduce those to a defined set of 4 or whatever dimensions that characterize you as a Wolfram language programmer.
Look at the answers, do some kind of feature space plot, and then see what unites those.
Someone in Twitch chat says the composition versus composition versus right composition holy war. I am firmly on the side of right composition, except for when the first argument is not. So not composition, something else. I think that reads better. Otherwise, I'm on right composition side.
That's prefix versus postfix notation or something different?
No, something different. They related. In a sense, composition and right composition are the functional forms of prefix and postfix notation. So I think that's an roughly accurate statement. So what we're seeing. Okay, so that's something a little different. That's you can take a look at the documentation.
Like reverse Polish notation and such, or nothing to do with that?
Yeah, so this is the notion of composing functions before they are applied to a value. And it just composition does it in one direction, right composition does it in the other direction. Just like prefix and postfix notation, but they're different from prefix and postfix because these are just composing functions. Yeah, that's a good example.
Interesting. I feel like this has something to do with combinators. When I was messing around with it, I've definitely used this.
Yeah, these are great things. These are great. It's great to get to know these and use these in your code because it can make a lot of things that you do like much neater and tidier if you write them as compositions of functions and pure functions and whatnot. So let's see. Any other? Nope. No other solutions yet.
Maybe give them another minute or so for Jonah to
Yeah,
update his
sure.
code, or for one of the other guys to fully submit.
Sure, we'll give you all until, Robert, can you show the leaderboard for a
Yes.
sec?
Yep.
We will give you all until, I'm going to say 4:50. You get a
4:50.
minute and 15 seconds for free.
And then we'll continue. Yeah, it's interesting because some of the best Wolfram language code I've
Can
seen.
you move the notebook just south a little bit so the number still shows up? There you go.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Tricky.
Good framing. Some of the tightest code I've seen
Excellent composition.
ends up looking like data, import, do something, and then some kind of visualization.
But now
And,
here's the thing. What if you wanted to do, what if data were a list of things you wanted to import, and you wanted to do import and then do something and then another thing and then visualization on each element of those lists, each element of that list. That's tricky to do here with your postfix notation, but you could do a composition or write composition of those 4 functions: import, then do something, then another thing, then visualization. And that composition or write composition represents all of those functions like bundled together in sequence as a sort of like a pre-composed function. And then you can map that composition or write composition over each element in your list, and then you've got your result. So the holy war is just basically which direction do you want to write those functions in when you're writing your composition or write composition expression.
Yeah, good. And I'm with you that whatever makes it kind of the most clear is probably the winner.
Clarity, very important. We've got a not quite in time, but we'll allow it. We've got one more solution from sorry, I'm sorry. I am afraid I'm going to mess up pronunciation on that name. Is that Ubada?
Yes, that's right. That's
okay.
Right.
Oh, wow. Hole in one.
You should also re-grab Jonah because he resubmitted and it works this time.
Okay. Jonah did resubmit. I missed that then. Cool.
I'm getting a beach ball here. Do you know what to deal with?
Oh,
that?
no, not sure. Is that, let's see. We could switch over to me for now if you like, and we can you can maybe restart.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just typing. Okay, we had Rule, Assad, and who was third? I'm sorry, I missed. I'm copying over the
Ed. We had Ed as third, and fourth is Jonah, and then Ubada as fifth. Yeah.
Of course, the order here doesn't matter. I was just making sure I had the right people. Yeah. Okay, so I will share now. 1 second. Okay. So I'll copy over from here. I'll grab, and I see some, Matthews were, I'm afraid, after the cutoff, and also after we had 5, I believe. So we can only put, it's technical limitation. We can only put 5. Oops. 5 in the poll. So here, sorry, let me grab. Does.
Those wondering about the battery, we're now at 8%, so it's trending upwards.
Yeah.
I dare not say it lest it start going back down again. But
okay, so let's see. What do we have? What do we have here? What do you make of this?
Wow, look at that. That's very interesting. Can you rotate that?
Yeah, it looks like it's 3D. Take a look at that. Nice. So what is the 4th dimension we're seeing here? What do you think? Is it the fact that the points are connected? Well, no, it's just that would just be a line plot.
There might not be one. I don't know. I mean, if I'm trying to be very creative, you could say I think I don't know if it's pronounced correctly. Please correct me in the chat. But the moire patterns, when you have all those kind of intersecting things, and maybe that could be considered another layer of data to make 4, but I'm not certain. Okay, looks like I'm back up and running, which is good. So.
Well, remember,
I'm back down to 6%. Oh no.
Oh no, you've lost one. Okay, so I remember we made no prescription about what the function must do, only that it must be called actually this isn't a function, but we'll pretend it's a function that's called either plot 4D or list plot 4D. Oh, that's nice. I like this angle here. You see that perspective effect?
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Could do some art with that of some variety. Okay, and then Jonah's, let me grab that from the chat here. Okay. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Take a look at that. It's a pumpkin. No, it's a sphere. It's a pumpkin when it's still when it's doing the low resolution plot. Now it's a sphere. And the dimension, it looks, if you look closely, yeah, something's changing.
Yeah, the scale on the left-hand side.
The scale is changing.
Which makes sense because R is the parameter you're manipulating, right? So.
Yes. So I guess, so is the, so is this, trying to think in what dimensions, in what sense is this 4-dimensional? Or maybe it isn't. Again, we didn't say it has to be 4-dimensional.
This is a 3D object that you're allowed to manipulate a parameter. And
yeah.
So since you're moving it in time by sliding.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you've got the time again.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's kind of like, I guess it's like maybe like a polar coordinate or spherical coordinate plot where the 4th dimension is time. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it. But hey, it's we've got something. Robert, are you able to, are you ready to share?
I am indeed ready to share. Okay,
cool. So you should probably copy Jonah's and Ubita's stuff over so we have it all consolidated, and go ahead.
Okay, so
and we're back.
We are back. Thank you. We're having some problems at the studio, and by studio I mean my apartment. So it's not a studio except there's this lighting, which I guess makes my face look very shiny. So promise it's a normal level of shininess. But all right.
So it's at one end of the scale is a studio, and the other end is a studio apartment, and yours is in the middle.
That's right.
I assume not. Is it a studio apartment?
I'm very proud to say that it's a 1-bedroom. So just one, on that continuum. Okay. It is not at the far extreme.
Right. Okay. So it's not. It is neither a studio nor a studio apartment, but really anything could be a studio if you call it a studio.
That's true.
Okay. So, yeah, let's just bring up the solutions, and I think Avery, you can put up the poll. Thank you.
Gives me a good idea though. You could tell people that you're at the studio, art studio, or recording studio, and it could just be your studio apartment. So.
And Robert, could you bring up your notebook with the solutions so that anyone who missed them can see?
Yes. So let's go through some of these.
Yeah, and maybe copy Jonah's and Ubita's over.
Yes.
Thanks.
We can definitely do that.
Okay. Thank you, Robert.
My pleasure. Thank you. You know what? I'll have to get the my chat session going now. Sorry, just a second. Cool. But yeah, this is rules answer, which is nice. Manipulate, which actually not manipulate. Excuse me. It's a list animate. It's a function that I've actually learned about decently recently, and I really like it. And it has this rather spirited wave going through it. It's pretty cool looking. So good job, rule. We have an answer from Assad, kind of a very, let's go. Oh, Assad is pulling in first with 6 votes. Very good.
The Twitch chat likes that.
This 4D thing, it's creative. It's not what I would have expected, which is always fun. And I don't know how you figured out what points. I don't know if you had to write this down on paper or something, but I'm impressed you're able to get these points. And even had to split this kind of hemispherical part of the D into 2 parts. So that's good work. It reminds me of those famous person curves on Wolfram Alpha. That people
Absolutely,
like,
yes.
Makes Homer Simpson or something like that.
Yeah.
In fact, we might even do that. That's a lot of fun. Actually, there's a Stephen Wolfram curve. Let's do that. Or there better be.
Obligatory, yes, there definitely is.
Better be. Let's see. This should be fun. Okay, so what properties does it have? Because I want to see the plot of it. So many properties here. This is amazing. Okay,
and we've got poll is almost complete, and looks like Assad is in the lead.
Okay, let's see. 8 votes, and
oh wow,
who do we have? Oh, Assad, you have 1.
Assad gets it.
Very good. Followed by Rule and Jonah tied for 2nd, and
we have And we have a canine appearance on Assad's webcam right now. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Assad, maybe if you, yes, you are visible on the stream. We have a canine appearance live. Or maybe is that Assad, and the human behind him or her is, I don't know, interpreter?
It's a very creative answer. You know, it wouldn't be surprising if it was just a very intricate canine.
Do you, whoever you are, do you interpret the dog's barks into code, Wolfram language code? Is there like a defined translation?
Say 3 barks for yes. But we have a very interesting. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a good dog. We have a very interesting project going on interpreting whale sounds. Very interesting. They're actually very sophisticated. So if you're with the summer school, you should definitely check out the presentation. It's going to be a very interesting one. So good. Okay, so there you have it. Let's check the leaderboard overall. We have Jonah in first, got a respectable 3 points in each question, followed closely by Ed and Assad, who are tied for second presently. Rule just 1 point behind them, and then we have Matthew and Ovidas. So good. This is a neck and neck, so it's anybody's game at this point. So very exciting, and I think that if people are ready, we could go on to the next question.
Yeah, but before then, I think we have our special video. I think we should roll our our interstitial video. So Brandon, let's do the thing.
Yes.
The video thing. Thank you. And it is happening. I see it happening now.
Excellent.
The thing is thinging.
Now, I don't know if they can still hear us. If they can still hear us, then hi. If not, then ignore what I just said. Okay.
Are we done with the video?
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. Yeah. How energetic is that video? I mean, you know, you think
Amazing.
You're coming to the UFC, we're the top of the ticket, you know, top of the fight card, but it's the Wolfram LiveCoding Championship for the Wolfram Summer Science. So
absolutely.
Wonderful.
And
Glad to have everyone.
Let's do it. Let's roll for question 3.
Question 3.
Our contestant should be receiving now.
I can see you with I as your physical eye. Write a function that transforms eyes from any photo of a face, e.g. change eye color, add sunglasses, make them anime styled, etc. You can import an image of a non-existent person's face from thispersondoesnotexist.com, and there's an image resize thing. I don't know if people in the audience have heard of this site, but it is actually kind of freaky. This person does not exist.com. It's quite a long URL, but this person does not exist. I think this is a generalized adversarial neural network that is generating this. In fact, generative, excuse me.
Hey, I know her. Sorry.
This every time you refresh it, you just get another one. Haunting. I don't know. Jesse, can you tell? Would you be able to tell the difference that these are not real people? Or
Absolutely not. Never in a million years. I mean, they look more real than real people. Like the pictures are really sharp, good resolution.
Wow. I wonder what their training set was. Was it, you know, LinkedIn photos, or what did they do? But yeah, this is amazing. I think we added GAN functionality to the Wolfram language. Actually, not even in 12.3. We had it before. I have not played around with it, but it's on my list of things to do. This is nuts.
That's crazy.
It's like they put the piercing in there. I mean, that's amazing.
Whoa, yeah. Okay, and then for legal reasons, of course, we encourage using these pictures for your solutions instead of real people. Actually, it probably doesn't matter, but it's cool. I mean, why not? Why not add some neural networks into the mix? Why not add some deep learning buzzwords to your answer?
You know, looking more closely, I probably could tell this wasn't a real photo.
You
know,
think?
Some of the text, there's some texturing problems around the glasses.
Well, I think you would only know if someone said this, there's a 50% chance that this picture was generated by a neural network and isn't a real person. I think if it were just presented to you, I don't think you would. I certainly would never guess that it might not be a real person.
Like, I think most people's pupils are totally round, or at least oblong.
Yeah, the eyes do look a little unusual there.
Now I'm looking at really minor details, and I don't know if I could tell, but like this is a pretty good one. I don't know.
Okay, so this is now the Wolfram Summer School Person or Not competition 2021.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed. Let's see. I'm sorry. I haven't looked to see if we have any answers yet. Not quite. Okay. Well,
And I noticed our one of our Twitch chat audience members, who is the same person I mentioned before, points out that the live coding competition motto is "It's technically esports."
it's technically esports.
It's technically esports. There's E, and it's a competition, so it's sports. So,
you know, I personally like to be thought of as an athlete, and you know, they give out these crazy belts for the Wolfram Tech Conference Live Coding Championship.
Yeah, we forgot to mention. You are a past champion, and you have completed the time-honored tradition of competing from. Moving from competing to commentary.
Indeed.
You've retired.
I've retired. I've
involuntarily
hung up the shoes, and now, you know, like a retired boxer, I could just comment on what other people are doing and live vicariously through them. But you know, I probably won't win an athletic belt, so it makes me feel like an athlete, and that's what matters, right? Let's see. Do we have no answers quite yet? This is a challenging one, and
indeed.
Yeah. It
So what are some functions that you think people might make use of in their solutions here? I mean, it's pretty open-ended, but there are I can think of a couple, like things like find faces, facial features.
Yeah, and you know, so people have fairly common proportions with where their eyes are, and so if you do find faces and kind of go sort of not three quarters of the way, like 2/3 of the way up, you'll get a box that goes around their eyes. So I would probably naively try to get, you know, you ever see those top secret photos? They have like their eyes kind of, they have a black bar or something, or blurred.
But it doesn't even have to be naive. You can with I think it's something like facial features. You can ask, where are the eyes in this
Really?
picture? Yeah,
That's
we've got facial feature recognition.
I had not heard of that. That's amazing.
Surprise!
Whoa!
See,
you know, every time
you learn something new every day. That's the phrase.
Amazing. You know, it's like there's always a new feature. Every time you want to do this kind of weird niche thing, there's usually a function that actually does that specific thing. So.
Like, yeah, how would I mean, it's you might think like, how would I do this? What are the low level functions I might be able to compose together to approximate an accurate solution? Or you can just search in the documentation and discover that there is a function that does exactly what you're trying to do.
So what function would extract their eyes? Okay, so nose points.
Yeah, and I think there are probably some examples in here that would show, at least one that shows.
Look at that. Look at that. Eyebrows, nose, mouth, and outline.
It's definitely got eyes somewhere.
Age weights. Wow.
There you go. Yeah, like left eye and right eye center. Next table.
Next table. Left eye. Wow, that is amazing. Just built into the language.
Yeah. So
I promise I'm not getting paid extra for this pitch. It's
man, this one's easy. Just draw a line between the two and make it thick, and then you've got covering the eyes. Or if you want it to be horizontal, it would be a rectangle that includes both of the eye points in case the head is at an angle. There are a couple of considerations to make, but
you could put circles over it to go do like different color eyes.
Pupils. What was that, Robert? I lost your audio for just a second.
Yeah, I could hear it was getting a bit choppy.
You were speaking in tongues for a few seconds.
He does that sometimes. It's a Robert thing.
I did grow up in Texas, so, you know, there's that. But what's it called? Yeah, googly eyes. I'd be very good if people could paste. You could do that pretty easily. I think, you know, paste big white circles and then little black circles. And if you can get them to spin around like googly eyes, then
make them spin around. That's
my vote.
Then yes, I'm voting for that one. I haven't been voting, but if someone does that, I'm voting for that.
I will create a Twitch account. Actually, I have one because I watch the physics project stuff, and I last usually 6 or 7 minutes until I'm completely lost. But I'm getting a little further.
Good. A little further each time. That's the goal.
Some of the terminology is amazing. I'm not really certain what ZX calculus is, but it sounds really awesome. So Z and X, the most mysterious letters.
I think it comes right after YW calculus. And your audio cut out, so I didn't hear you laugh at my hilarious joke.
Yes,
I'm sure that's what you were doing, right?
That's what I was doing, and
okay, good.
I was saying that the ZX calculus was developed many years after the AA calculus was invented. So
sure,
it's all chronological. Let's see, no answers yet. That's all right. Jesse and I are having a good time.
Yeah,
Look
don't
at that.
answer any of these questions. We'll just let me and Robert keep speaking indefinitely until the end of time.
Put like a little Squidward nose on people. That would be pretty funny. Man, I'm gonna have a good time with this prompt after this competition. This will
Absolutely, yeah.
be fun. Man, as soon as I want to say something, it's cutting out. It's
How do
actually
you know
pretty
when
funny.
you're cutting out? I'm curious.
Because you start cutting out. It starts getting kind of choppy.
Oh, okay.
Talking into a fan, and
Well, then maybe it's at my end. Who knows?
Now, the 5% is entertaining, but Robert devolving into speaking in tongues and whatnot
Okay,
is
it is
definitely fantastic.
You know, in the spirit of this, is it a person or not thing? Maybe I should start speaking in tongues, and then you tell me if it's latency issues or I'm just actually speaking in tongues.
Which tongues do you speak in? What is your tongue of choice?
You know, it's curious. I wonder if we have tongues listed as a language. It just did it again, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Bad. Okay, Jesse, I'm gonna maybe have you take the heavy for a couple minutes, and hopefully.
Sure. Yeah, you can go. You can reset your things, your various things, whatever things you might have to reset. Good luck.
Thank you. Godspeed, Captain.
Godspeed. Engage.
Live long and prosper. Excuse me.
There you go.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Very good.
Okay, I'll take over the share. We're tag teaming on the screen sharing, tag team screen share. So I'm curious. I want to take a look at some more examples from the documentation for these functions. We've got facial features. Let's see. So yeah, we were just looking at that on Robert's screen. So look, not just age and gender, but emotion. That's interesting. I guess, yeah, that's trained on some set of people expressing different emotions. I wonder what the, did someone tag the images based on emotion, or did they ask them to sit in front of a camera and look happy, look sad, look angry? Who knows? What was the training process for that classification system?
I wonder for like the feeling stuff, how much it uses the big stuff like a smile and how much it uses the eyes, because you can have a fantastic smile and just dead eyes of like, I am not happy. My mouth says I'm happy,
absolutely.
but my eyes say I'm going to murder you.
Yes. Well, the examples we got here, kind of maybe not entirely representative, given as these are all happiness. Let's see. So we had nose points. I'll maybe try writing something real quick here. I have an idea for a way to cheat and make this easy. So we've got eye points, and this might I don't know if it has to like download a neural net the first time I run this. We'll see. It's doing something. Some of these functions that are powered by deep learning systems and trained neural nets are let's see. Yeah, some of these they have to download something at the beginning, like a neural net, but then here next time I run it, it should be quite fast. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much instantaneous. So let's see. Eye points. So I was thinking I might. Oh, it's multiple points. I really just want the center of each eye. So eye center maybe. Okay, cool. So that's the two of those. Maybe let's do highlight image on eye. I could save these in a variable. Okay, and then highlight image these. This should just draw points. This is just like what they're doing over here. Oh wait, that's the center in between both eyes. Not quite what I was looking for. I was hoping for each eye. So start a new notebook here.
Your function could always be to turn them into a cyclops.
It could, yeah. That would be cool. You could maybe do that using inpainting or something. Like grab the left eye, and then in paint. There's a function in paint which will like fill in part of an image based on the background. So in paint over both eyes, and then paste the left eye in the center. Oh, we have a solution. We have a solution from Jonah. Let's see. This is a pretty nice looking solution, if I do say so myself. Question, what is this? 3? Yes, it says over there on the leaderboard, of course. This is very nice. So we're getting a person who does not exist from over here. We are importing another image, an image of clip art of cartoon eyes. Cool. And then we are resizing it to 100 pixels across, getting the eye center, just like this one, the point in between both eyes, and then composing those eyes over the center of that image. And this is a transparent background, so the background here shows through. Excellent.
My eyes deceive me, or has somebody done the googly eyes one successfully?
Not quite. My condition for voting was that it has to have a manipulate that lets me like move or just be animated that moves the pupils around. That's my condition. I may not have stated that clearly enough, but that's just for me voting. Anyone else who likes this is pretty nice. So anyone else who likes this is of course free to vote on it. Okay. So anyways, I was just gonna get, let's see, I think I want the left eye center and right eye center. And okay, so grab this. Okay, there we go. That is the left eye center and the right eye center. So really, I just want the values of each of those associations here. I don't care about which is right and which is left. Can I do this? Okay, there. Now we've got over each eye. And my idea that I had was to just modify the settings of this. So I could do, what are the options here? I was thinking maybe there's some way to do something fancier than just a little purple dot.
Maybe a slightly less evil looking color as well.
Slightly less evil looking. What color is less evil than purple? I think purple is a pretty evil color. So
I mean, I wouldn't think
bar.
it would be that evil. It just kind of looks that evil right now.
Sure. Okay, so let's see. I can specify a style if I put it, looks like before this. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. Now it's, okay, that's more evil. Sorry about that. Green or cyan is the complementary color to red, so it would presumably be the least evil. Complementary color in complementary color of light, not pigment, I think. Make them large. They're already large, so maybe I like that. That's good. That's pretty nice. Oh, we've got a second solution that is similar approach actually to the first one, it looks like. That one was Ed, I believe. Yes, Ed. Okay. I don't know why that's colored black here. Oh, I bet it's because Ed copied it from the thing that we used to send the questions. Okay, so actually pretty simple. Oh, what do we have here? Looks like maybe a bit of a syntax mistake here where we have this is actually part of a function called new eyes that's not used. So I think this is what Ed meant to do. Okay. There we go. Excellent. And here there's an extra step that we can see because we're removing background from the eye image first. It looks like it starts out with some kind of background. It might just be white. Yeah, probably white. But if I move this inspector over it, it will tell me, oh, there actually isn't a background. Interesting. So maybe the remove background is, oh no, okay, it's being reassigned to here. So we overwrote the original. Okay, there we go. It starts off with a black background. So we have to get rid of that so that there is a transparent alpha channel here, so we can overlay it on that image. Okay. Cool. Robert, are you ready to take back over, or?
I'm back.
You're back. Robert is back.
5% battery update.
5% battery still.
I think the lowest it's gotten is 2 or 3, and the highest was like maybe 8 or 9.
Wow,
So,
it's a real roller coaster.
It's a real
of emotions.
Sinusoidal kind of thing. Yeah. Well, look at this, kind of pointing in. Very good. Wow. So Ed has gotten a good answer. Oh, so have 2 people done Google Eyes?
Yep. Looks like 2 similar but not exactly the same solutions using Googly Eyes. Are you ready to take back Khan?
Are we doing Star Trek terminology? That's great.
Yes,
I do not have answers copied over. Maybe for third question, if you wouldn't mind continuing, and maybe we can switch over at 4. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Are you able to copy them over real quick?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, I have to attend to something for a second.
That's all right. I can copy that real quick. You can.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Here, I will stop sharing. And
okay, I can start sharing. Very good. I know that this whole episode has been riveting with the battery. I promise you it's anything but that for me. I don't know what was going on. You'd think as someone who works in tech, I'd have figured it out by now, but some things are just real deep mysteries, you know? So let's take a look at this. Okay, so we have a good answer from Jonah. We're copying over now. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Oh, wonderful. Okay, clear image, import and resize it, good. Then we are going to, from the internet, get a picture of someone's googly eyes, so good job. I guess it's a transparent one, so very good. Oh, they then just compose it. Okay. With the eyes over it. That's a nice answer. Good job, Jonah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive. And then let's see. This is nice. From Ed. Man, there's nothing like googly eyes, is there? Okay, we got
Okay. And I just saw a third one come in, again from Jonah. And I'm just realizing that we totally forgot to state that you're normally not supposed to submit multiple different answers to the same question. I mean, if you would need to revise a previous answer, that's fine. Yes. But
or if it's a super awesome different one, then fair enough as well.
Although it is similar, I think. It's also importing eyes. I can't tell right away what it's doing. Oh, maybe it's the manipulate that I asked for. Maybe Jonah satisfied my wishes.
It is. It's both glorifying and horrible.
All the best things are.
What did Cicero say, that the greatest pleasures in man are close to disgust? Something like that? I don't know. I didn't read him that carefully. But
oh, wow.
Let's see.
So what is this?
I'm excited. Is it satiating your desire for googly eyes? Oh, wonderful.
Jonah has heard my request and has done it. How does this work?
All right, let's try it.
Oh, okay. I think Jonah found an animated GIF of eyes where the pupil moves, because I noticed it imports as a list, which would suggest that the source is an animated GIF, because that's how GIFs import by default, I think.
Curious. It's taking a moment to run, but can't blame people for that. What is lh3.googleusercontent.com perhaps a content delivery network?
Yeah, I'd say it's a cached thumbnail for a search result on Google Images.
Nice, makes sense. It's clever. So you think an animated GIF? Let's see if it runs. What 97 megabytes is it? Oh, look at this.
So I think Jonah has satisfied my conditions, and Jonah gets my vote.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Congratulations. Good work.
Yes.
I can see Jonah celebrating. Celebratory victory dance.
Very good. Wow, look at that. Okay, let's try with another face. Wonderful. I like how poorly drawn they are. That just makes it even better, frankly. Wonderful. Okay. And I guess we can wait another minute or two for another submission.
Yeah, let's give it another 2 minutes, maybe.
We're at 5:22.
So 5:25.
Yeah, good. Yeah, fun. Good job. Yeah, this is clever, and the code is pretty lightweight. This is very easy to understand.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
The
So let's see. We're getting the eye centers, and then we are adding 10 to each of the x coordinates. Oh no, we're getting the eye center, which is 1, and then there's only one of them, and then we're adding 10. So maybe the original GIF is not perfectly centered, so it needed to be translated a little bit in order to line up.
Yeah, very good. Well, so beyond googly eyes, what other kind of things would you maybe do, Jesse?
Yeah, well, one idea was sunglasses, add sunglasses to people. And then you mentioned like changing iris color.
Yeah.
You could do that. Just overlay a small circle that's a translucent circle over the, or maybe you could do something with, if you were fancy with image compose, you could use a different blending mode so that it would tint, I guess, just tint the colored part without affecting the white of the eye, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Something like that.
That would be pretty interesting and difficult. I wonder if you could do like, what's that meme effect you see, the laser eyes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're, or, you know, an eye patch maybe. Or,
yeah. Oh, Avery is suggesting hats. Put a hat on based on eye color. That would be cool. You could, so like add a hat image to the person that's colored based on the color of their eyes.
Okay.
So you could pull out the the left and right eye centers, and then maybe offset just a little bit so that you get the iris, and then sample the color there. You could sample the color in a disk maybe and take the average just for better accuracy, make it more robust, and then add a triangle or something on top of their head. So yeah, let's see. Oh, it's 5:25, just as I looked at the clock. So I'm clicking the button, I guess, that says time is up, and we've got 2. Oh wait, did I just see? Oh, I just saw some more come in.
Yeah, we have one by Matthew.
Yeah, Matthew submitted twice to try to make sure that he beat the wire.
Sure. Okay, just in the nick of time.
Let's take
a look at Matthew's.
Let's get the last one. I presume it's either a duplicate or it's the revised one. So
sure.
We have this image. So fine.
We've got a person who does not exist.
It's funny, like, you know, maybe they do exist. They're just taking them off LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, maybe the whole thing is a sham.
It's like
a social experiment.
They just mechanical turked it, you know. But okay, so some insert eyes thing and maybe adding a Wolfram thing in. So, you know, showing the company, good points for that. Okay, look at that.
Whoa, nice.
Okay, what are the eyes? Oh, this is rotated.
What is it doing? Can you tell what it's doing from the code?
I'm guessing it's going to translate it.
Yeah, we're getting the.
My best guess is it's translating it over. It looks like, but.
So wait, is A the our I variable? Can you scroll up so I can see the? Or sorry, I have the code on my screen. I don't need to bother you with that.
So.
Yeah, I guess so. It's adding. It's adjusting the position. It's adding A to both the X and, or no, not X and Y.
And X and Y simultaneously, so it's moving it diagonally.
Well, but wait, is it X and Y, or is it looks like it's right eye and left eye? Or I guess it's adding it to them simultaneously because they're lists. Okay, I get it, I think.
They look to be moving somewhat diagonally.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I guess that's what's going on. Cool.
Okay. Well,
okay, let's put that up for voting. We've got Jonah, Ed, and let's take Jonah's second as Jonah's real entry. So Jonah, Ed, and Matthew. And we've got a poll, which I will go vote on. Okay, let's take a look. Who is in the lead? Jonah is in the lead by a factor of infinity. Oh, no longer. Now it's finite. Still in the lead,
yeah,
but not by an infinite factor.
And yeah, we had this. Jonah's second answer was this googly eye animation deal. Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, and indeed, he is a crowd favorite for the googly eyes. It looks like Matthew in second. His solution was the Wolfram eyes.
Right. Yes.
Very good.
Very good. That
And,
gets the PR points. I'm sure Danielle voted for that one.
And then we have a static. Ed submitted a static googly eyes, which is honorable mention for sure. Jonah is pulling ahead quite a bit. But I mean, if you can do an animated googly eyes, I'm satisfied. This was a good answer to the question. So
Danielle confirms that she voted for the
Wolfram eyes.
the Wolfram eyes.
Very good. Yeah, Bo. Very good. Excellent. And we have just a couple seconds left. So if you have not cast your vote yet,
Cast
on
your
Twitch.
vote. Make your voice heard
That's right.
in this democracy.
Mm-hmm. Do your duty and vote for
Do
who-
your civic duty.
That's right. Your Wolfram duty. Oh, Ed just gained a vote. But he looks pretty static at the moment. So, and Jonah has won. Very
Jonah
good.
has won. Congratulations, Jonah.
Ed and Matthew are tied. So let's see what that does to our leaderboard.
Let us see. Absolutely.
By the way, this is a cloud object, so definitely check out the Wolfram Cloud. It's pretty neat.
Yes.
Can allow you to do cool stuff. Let's see. Jonah is in the lead, 2 points on top of Ed. Matthew and Assad are now tied for third. So,
Excellent. Great work,
yeah.
Jonah.
Very good. Very good.
Okay. Shall
Okay.
we move on to question 4?
Looking at the time, FYI, this will probably be the last question unless we move on to a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Okay. Depending on how fast our contestants here,
Yes, if we get 5 answers in like 30 seconds, we'll probably go on to question 5.
we'll see. We shall see. Okay. Should we can skip the video thing. Maybe we'll do that later. Okay. Question 4 is going live now, and you should see that on your competitor devices momentarily.
Okay.
There we go.
EU countries. Create a chart or visualization showing some property of the countries of the European Union. Make sure to describe briefly in a comment or text cell which property is being shown. You may use the European countries entity class. So it's a nice little
So, yeah, you can use the EU entity class. So what does that mean? An entity class, it's not the list of the countries in the European Union, but it's like a reference to the group of entities, the class of entities that satisfy the condition of being in the European Union. So a really cool thing about that is if you write your code to use an entity class and get like values and properties of entities through that entity class, then if that entity class ever changes in the future, if a country enters or leaves the European Union, as has happened recently with the United Kingdom, that entity class like automatically updates, and the next time you run your code, you'll always have the correct data used in your application if you're basing stuff off of entity classes. And that goes for entities in general. If you write code that depends on the population of France or the population of each country in the European Union, your code will always get the latest data that is available through the Wolfram knowledge base through that entity. So it's for a lot of applications, it makes a lot more sense than hard coding data values in your code or in some data files locally.
Certainly. Well, what kind of properties do you think they might want to visualize?
I don't know. Let's take a look. I think there are quite a lot of properties on entity classes. On country entities. So we could take a look at like yeah. So let's do, maybe we could try out entity list of that. See what are the entities in that entity class. There we go.
Plot and world map as a suggested thing. That's neat.
Yeah. Oh wow! It even gives you like a little manipulate. Do you have to enable dynamic?
It's just taking a moment. My poor computer is running at max capacity doing this video stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that probably cost us 2% battery power right there.
No battery in the reserve, so man, it is a tough day to be my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all right. Keep your laptop charged, y'all.
Yep, that is the lesson. That is one of the morals of today's live event.
One of the many life lessons to be extracted from this glorious live event.
Absolutely, many, dozens, surely.
This is not how long it takes the code to run. This is a my machine kind of issue at this moment.
Sure. Can we take a look at the entity list?
Yes,
Instead, we could. That could be
Let me
cool.
just quit what we got going on here.
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's probably not quitting. It's just a dynamic. Oh, maybe it was evaluating.
Yeah.
You could do, oh yeah, okay, that works. Cool.
It's always stunning to me to see just how many properties we have. I mean, we probably have some really obscure things about
really obscure
cattle and levels of minerals in seawater. I mean, you name it, we have it.
Can you delete the output cell from the dynamic just in case that's the manipulate, just in case it's
slowing it down. In fact, I can get rid of dynamic evaluation if that might do the trick. Maybe it's the internet thing. Oh, there was no issues before this, but then the battery demon strikes and the internet one, and
yeah, sure.
Soon my lights will flicker, and who knows what, right? But
maybe you could try quitting your kernel. It might just be stuck from that that manipulate that.
It's always the saddest thing, I don't want to quit on it. I believe in it, but sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes. And hey, at least you can quit the kernel separately and you keep the notebook.
Exactly, that is
because the kernel runs in a separate process. So you can quit the kernel, but you still have your work and you can still save your work. So I think that's a good design decision, having those things separate.
Indeed. Would you perhaps like to show this off while this beach?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we've got question 4. So what were we doing? We're doing European Union. Okay, so we can check the entity list. See what countries are in that. I wonder if there's this may or may not work, but I'm wondering if I do dated of this, and then if I say I want the European Union in 2007, is that? No, it gave each of the it gave the dated versions of each of those countries. So I was wondering if there's a way to get the European Union as it existed in 2007, but that may not be possible, at least not through entity classes. But yeah, we can do properties as Robert was trying to do, and okay, there we go. So there are a bunch of these. Wow. Climate types, electrical grid plug images. I think we had a question in a previous live coding competition that was based on that, if I recall correctly. I know one was written. I don't know if it was actually used. It may have been a tiebreaker, but we had that at one point in a live coding competition. So let's see the plug images of each of the countries in the European Union. So this output is not going to be labeled. Okay, here we go. EU standardization, homogenization. We've got almost all of the countries use, I guess that is the European plug design. Cool. And if we wanted to see which ones, which countries use which plug, we can do entity value, which is similar to what I did here with the brackets. That's the shorter form. But with entity value, I can ask for the entity association, an association of each entity to its value. So we've got Cyprus, Ireland, Portugal, Malta, looks like are the ones that do not use or do not exclusively use the EU plug design. I don't know if we have any European competitors here who maybe from any of these countries who can confirm, but this is what these entities tell us about the electrical grid plug images. Cool. So a whole bunch of properties. I don't know how many there are here. Line 45, length 751 properties on country entities. Now, bear in mind, not every entity will have all of these properties available. Like we might not know the aggregate home value for householders from 35 to 64 years old for Malta, but many of these will be available for most, if not all, countries in the world. So we could just make a plot maybe based on the electrical grid plug images. Let's see. How would one do that?
It might be handy, or even a compatibility map, perhaps.
Yeah. You could do like a bar chart of which ones are most common or something. So that's really simple. We don't care about which country has which. We can just flatten all of these. And assuming that the images are identical, I can do counts of this. Yeah, they are. Okay, so cool. We just did a counts of how many of each image appear. And since all of these images are exactly identical, it was able to figure out the count of that. So then we can do this. Then what's a nice way to do a bar chart? Let's say bar chart, and there's some way to set backgrounds for each bar. I like that for when you have images. So since I don't remember, I can just check the documentation and see that it is chart elements, it looks like. So I think what I want here is just values of counts. So plot the numbers, and then the chart elements are going to be the keys, which are those images, the keys in that association. There we go. Okay, can't see all of those, but there's a bar chart of the electrical grid plugs in plug types in the European Union, used in the European Union by number. So 25 of the standard one, and then 3 of that sort of triangular curved one that's used in Cyprus, Ireland, Malta, and then 2 of this other triangular curved one with a different blade geometry. So cool. I think that's a pretty nice visualization. Now I'm sure one of our competitors was working on exactly that, and now they're afraid that they can't submit it because I just did it and it will look like they stole from me. And that's just, sometimes that's how life is, I guess. What other stuff can we get out of here? Interesting properties. Attack helicopters. Is that like number of attack helicopters? Not just like regular helicopters, but attack helicopters.
Are there defense helicopters?
Wow, look at that. There are numbers. There you go. Who has the most? That's what I wonder. So I should be using entity value to begin with because it's slightly quicker to switch over to something else. But sort. Estonia has 0. Estonia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Sweden have 0. France has 293 attack helicopters. France is in the lead. Congratulations, I think. I guess that's something to be proud of. And then I'm curious where this data comes from. So I was thinking I could check the source qualifier. No, there's no source data for that particular property. Often properties will have source data available, but sometimes that's not available either for like legal reasons, or it just isn't there and isn't available in the system. Let's try another.
In this case, we had to have spies sent out to each.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is primary source information. The Wolfram Research Intelligence Office
parachuted in. They used binoculars and they just started counting them, recording the tail numbers, and this is our numbers.
Exactly. So we can't give source information to protect our agents in the field.
Yeah.
It just happens that way sometimes. Adult population. Do we have source? Okay, here. So this is the source for it for each of those countries. We can see they all come from the World Factbook. And we can even get information about the source. This is super meta. I learned this recently because this is actually a source entity, I believe. So this is a source. The source of this entity's property, or these entities' properties, is another entity in and of itself. So it's the CIA World Factbook. And there's
the question is how deep can we go? Can we get
what kind of facts? I guess this is the public version of the World Factbook, but there's a URL, and I learned this recently. There's even a citation, which is awesome. There's actually a support page on the Wolfram website, if you look for it, that tells you if you want to cite data from the Wolfram knowledge base, the first thing to do is to check this source, the source entity property qualifier, and then get the citation from here. And this is like a already formatted citation that you can just drop into any document that you're composing, assuming it meets your needs for citation formats. So that's a really nice feature, I think. Let's see. Full boundary length, interesting. Classes, that's interesting. So we can see what entity classes is a given entity part of. So if we grab one of these, such as Austria, oh, I see a solution came in. I will look at that in just a second. Austria, what classes, entity classes is Austria part of? Oh, a whole bunch of them. African Development Bank. I guess that's not limited to countries in Africa. Maybe it's countries who assist in development in Africa. I don't know. Asian Development Bank, Australia Group. That is a lot of classes, entity classes. So all of these, just like European Union, all of these are classes that represent groups of entities and are updated live whenever the real world constituent members of those classes are updated. So that's awesome. Okay, let's check the solution that came in. This is from Rule. Ooh, okay, something weird happened here. Yeah, this happens sometimes, and I know what the reason for this is. 1 sec. So question 4 here. Delete all of this, all of it. Okay, so rules solution, actually the input came in as an image. And this is just because the system that we use to collect these solutions, it will automatically convert the input to an image if there are any dynamics in it. And it doesn't look like there are any dynamics in here, but this entity blob with the check mark here is actually a dynamic. That check mark is dynamic. So this is actually short enough that I can probably just retype it real quick. So now that I've clicked that check mark, this is no longer dynamic and it's safe to be sent. So that's just a thing about our system. Oh, that's interesting. So is this properties without oh, what happened to that? I deleted it by mistake. So this is properties not as a string, but just as a symbol, but apparently, actually it doesn't work. Maybe it was a string on rules end and somehow got converted to a symbol in transmission. I don't know how that happened, but here, we'll convert it back to the, there we go, back to the string form. So, random choice, okay. So we're getting any random and, okay, any random property. So random choice, I think is going to, oh, okay, I see. So random choice is giving the entity property, like fancy blob here. Oh, we have one more solution. I'll look at that in a second. And then just grabbing the string name out of that. Another way to do that would just be to get the common name of this this entity property expression. But last works perfectly fine as well for this case. So last, and then, so, okay. That's interesting. What is this about? Entity function. So it's an entity function that returns both the entity and the property, the value of that property associated with the entity. That's an interesting way to do things. I suspect entity association might be a, well, that's okay. So whatever property we picked here, I didn't see it. There aren't any values available for it. Adjustment seasonal borrowings. I have no idea what that means. Electricity, conventional, thermal. There we go. So this is an interesting way of getting something kind of similar to what entity association gives you. So this is an entity function. It's like defining an ad hoc property. So instead of saying our property is this fixed one, electricity, conventional, thermal, we're saying it's a computed property that's computed based on this function. This function is given that entity as input, and the value of this computed property is a list containing the entity and then like the electricity, conventional, thermal property of that entity, or whatever it was, the one that we picked. So that's an interesting approach to getting this data. I bet we could alternatively just say entity association here to get, no, oops. I meant to say, okay, prop entity association. There we go. I was just getting the association for every single property instead of this one. So yeah, now we've got an association, and we could convert this to a list of lists if we wanted by like saying rule applied at level 1 to this associate. Oh, sorry, not rule, list applied at level 1, converting from rules to lists. So so that's a way to do it. Interesting, actually, that rule avoided, was this rule solution? Rule avoided the potential solution that uses rules in it. Interesting. So put the entity function back. And last thing is georegion value plot. So this is going to draw those countries on the map, their polygons. Oh, we've got a third solution. I'll get to those in just a second. Okay, and yeah, it does look like the strings got, the quotes got cut off for some reason while sending this. Okay, so so georegion value, what's that? Huh.
Jesse, if you have a second,
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at code that Christopher posted
Okay.
about giant eyes. It is definitely worth the time to look at it.
Is this, sorry, where is this?
In the social Slack.
Oh, social Slack. Okay. For anyone watching the live coding competition, run this for some giant eyes. Okay. Let's run it. Let's take a diversion here and run this code and see what it does. Well, while that's computing. Oh, there. No result. I don't know what is going on here. That's very interesting. I want to take a look at that later. It might be like just this property is causing an issue.
I got it to work for me, Jesse, so you might have a typo in there.
I might. Do you see a typo? There might.
No, that's why I said might.
Okay, might. Sure.
The only thing I notice is you're missing semicolons.
Shouldn't matter anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, here, this one, they're all missing. Maybe I must have made some mistake here. Oh, wait. What's this?
Oh, yeah. Get rid of the prop there.
Which one?
Right after your European Union entity.
Right. Yeah, I need rules original code. Yep. Thank you. That was an edit that I had made and then left in. Thank you, Scott.
Yep.
Oh, downloading. Still not working, probably because these are missing. So it doesn't really work all the time because sometimes properties are missing. Oh, here's the giant eyes. That's excellent. Okay. And I bet you could modify this to do the Cyclops idea we were thinking of. So okay, cool. So this is trimming each eye point, making a disk around it, trimming the image to that disk, and then probably scaling it up a little bit and insetting it back onto the image, overlaying it back onto the image using graphics. Awesome.
It's not as jarring as you'd think. It actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And here I still hold out hope that I can get this to work, but let's go grab some of the other solutions too. There we go. Okay, merchant ship's dead weight. So dead weight, I think, is that like before the ship is loaded, like its weight, just the structure of the ship itself. I think that's the definition of dead weight. I don't really know. I am, yeah. I should know this. I'll have to go check the Star Trek Next Generation technical manual to see the dead weight of the Enterprise D. So hold on. This was rule, and this one is Jonah. This is a bar chart, radio stations per mile of highway. So Jonah has invented a new country metric. You could do this using an entity function, probably, by the way. So you could define an entity function that is this property. But this is a new metric, number of radio stations per mile of highway. And it's not necessarily mile, because these are presumably quantities that we get here. So it's just going to, in fact, it's probably mile for me because I'm in the US. So so Mathematica is picking that unit, picking the imperial unit. But I bet if you were in a I think it chooses by default if you were in a country that that uses metric. Maybe you have to change that. I think that is a setting you have to manually change. But we could, anyways. The point is, we could convert this to use any length unit we want. So number of radio stations per mile of highway.
Has so few highways, or it has so many radio stations?
That's a good question. Yeah, Czech Republic. Czech Republic, which I can't spell. I can spell Czech, but not Republic, apparently. So let's see. How many radio stations?
The spelling.
Ha ha ha! I should run a spell checker.
Yeah.
A spell check. That would be it, actually, a spell check. So 352. That sounds like a lot of radio stations. That's my guess for 200. Yeah. It's very. Oh, okay. Then it's actually very little highway, isn't it? 205 miles is very little highway, I think. Is that right? Only 205 miles of highway? Because in the US, it's something insane. I don't know. I think I looked at this recently. I don't remember what it is, but it was big. 100,000 miles of highway. That's actually less than I was expecting, but still. I guess they just don't have any highways in the Czech Republic, or maybe they have a lot of roads that are not highways. I don't know. Okay, so that's excellent. So this is just getting this list of quantities of reciprocal miles is the unit here, and then plotting that using bar chart, and then labeling each bar with which country it was. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Third solution for here is, I think that's Assad, right? Yeah.
Of the answers, I think his is the most.
The most answer?
Yes.
It is the most answer. Let's see.
Notice the manipulate in there.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what are we going to see? This is like a maximalist answer. What is it doing? Let's see. Is it trying to get like every property of every entity?
Well, it's just those 5.
Oh, no, yeah, it is just those 5. Okay.
It did take me a hot second for it to actually work for me as well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, one thing it's doing here that is not totally efficient is that we're mapping entity value across a list, and that's something that one generally wants to avoid, because entity value is going to, unless the value is cached on your local machine, it's going to make a network request. Or it's not totally like deterministic when it does or doesn't, but it may make a network request. So so this is going to make however many countries are in the European Union that many network requests. While we could instead write this entity value is listable. So I can give entity value. You've seen me do this before, actually. You've seen me give it either the list of entities or even just the entity class itself, and then say I want this property from this, and this is only going to make a single network request. So much faster, much more efficient. So if you're ever writing code that is mapping entity value over a list of things, it's not necessary. It's not certain that it's wrong or that there's a better way, but you should definitely check if there is a better way, because often there is. Not always, but often there is a better way. But this is perfectly fine certainly as a live coding solution. I don't know why that became aborted. Did I abort it?
No, it happened to me too.
Okay.
The initial one I think just took too long, but once you click on any of them, they seem to work fine.
Okay,
as long as you don't reevaluate.
Well, just in case, I'll rewrite this real quick to maybe be faster. Yeah, okay, that seemed to help. So electricity from wind. So it's letting you pick any of these properties and it's plotting it. That's cool. So you don't even have to pick a property. The question said some property. Assad said, I can't decide. Assad is indecisive. So Assad's solution lets you pick any property that you want to see plotted, or any of the 5 that Assad thought were interesting. That's good. So it's like curated selection of interesting properties, and then from within those you can pick. Awesome. Very nice. So full boundary length. Okay. Yeah. So someone, who was that? Hellenic Republic? Wait, what is that? Where's that coming from? Oh, full name. Oh, okay. Interesting. So that's the full name of
Greece.
Greece.
It's
Yeah.
officially called the Hellenic Republic.
Okay, and then Federal Republic of Germany. Okay. For a second, I thought maybe these were like names of historical countries, but no, it's just the full official name. I didn't even know we have that data. Cool. Okay, so Assad, and then we had one more solution in, and I think probably time to close it after this one. So if anyone gets a solution in the next however long it takes me to go over this one, then you're number 5. Otherwise, we have 4. So this is from Matthew. And this is a pie chart of unemployment rate. That's an interesting property. And oh, we do have a number 5. Great. So I will go ahead and close this one. We have a number 5 from Ed. Unemployment rate, and then pie charted. Oh, and Matthew took advantage of the fact that you can say chart labels automatic for pie chart or many of the charting functions. Bar chart, I know, does it. Other ones, I think. And it will take, since this entity association is an association, pie chart is smart enough to say, okay, each of these values are what I want to plot in a slice of the pie, and then the keys are the names for those slices. So it's automatically assigning these labels here. Based on the keys in the association. So unemployment rate, we can clearly see Spain and Greece are highest here. I can't tell what's smallest. Is that the Czech Republic in that slice, maybe? Okay, interesting though. Unemployment rate. That is an interesting property to be plotting. And then finally, Ed is letting you pick, looks like in principle, any property, except there's actually only, ooh, what's this? It's the missing. Seems like georegion value plot does not like things with missing values. Well, one wonders how this ever worked then, if it's fixed to be the population property. Actually, I'm quite surprised that we don't know the population of some of these. Is that really the case? No, it is there. What am I misunderstanding here? Wait, metric tons. What? I don't know why that's, oh, do I already have it's this EU variable that I had defined from earlier. Okay. So I don't know what EU was, what Ed was using. Maybe it was the entity class here. But okay. Cool, there we go. So yeah, in principle, you can pick any property, but in reality, it appears to be locked to population. I could add another one in here, like, I don't know, death rate, is that a thing? I'm just guessing. No, okay, that was a bad guess. Birth rate? No, okay, I'm not good at guessing entity properties apparently. But anyways, we can, in principle, pick any of the properties listed in here and plot it on a georegion value plot. Okay, so I think now we can open this up for votes. Thank you for your patience, Avery. We've got Rule, Jonah, Assad, Matthew Maddock, and Ed. So Rules is a georegion value plot of a random property. So that's Greece down there. Is that right? I think that's Greece, yes? Bunch of islands. Robert, help me out here. He's gone. Okay, I hope I didn't just betray my...
I'm sorry.
Okay, I hope I didn't betray my terrible knowledge of geography here. I think that is Greece.
There's Greece and Crete, it looks like.
Okay, yes, so merchant ships, dead weight, that makes sense. A maritime country would have lots of merchant ships. I know a lot of ships are registered. Is that ships? I guess that ship's registered in the country, registered in Greece, regardless of where in the world they operate. Okay, we've got Jonah, and which was this bar chart of radio stations per mile of highway. I really like that metric there. That should be built in. I think that really needs to be a built-in entity property for country entities. Assad, which is a bar chart of a property from Assad's handpicked list of interesting properties. Food production per capita. Interesting that that's food production per. Oh, it's an index. Okay, so it's from who knows how that's calculated. It's probably some I don't know, United Nations something index, but they're all fairly close. Wonder how you get more than 100 on that index. Usually they're out of 100. And then mathematic, which is a pie chart of unemployment rate, and ed is population, georegion, value plot, or any other property you enter in there. So it looks like the poll is running down. I have to find the link because I don't have it on this machine.
I'll put it in the Slack.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, well, I can see on my other machine that that we have. There we go. Poll. Thank you. There we go. Jonah is the winner with, I believe that was the miles of radio stations per mile of highway. Excellent. And then Assad in second, Matthew, Rule, and Ed. Great. So let's see what that does to our leaderboard. That puts Jonah, may have already been in first place, but Jonah is in first place here. And then we have Ed, Assad, Matthew, Rule, and Ubada. Awesome. So it is 6 o'clock Eastern right now. So I think that is the end of our event, the end of the line. So I guess Jonah wins.
Congratulations, Jonah.
Congratulations, Jonah. Do you have any? I will stop sharing. Do you have any words to say upon having won?
Just wanted to say thank you to everyone at the summer school. I walked in knowing basically nothing, but after learning through all the lectures and stuff, I gained a lot of knowledge. And so all of this is the culmination of the knowledge of everyone at the Wolfram team. So just wanted to say thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Anyone else among the competitors have any words to say?
Well,
no,
I'd like to say thank you to
everybody.
everybody.
Oh yeah, Robert, of course.
I am not a competitor, of course, but y'all did great, very interesting and stimulating answers, and this has been a lot of fun, and good job for putting yourself out there, and thank you to everyone watching, and hope it was entertaining. So see y'all soon.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Yep. I think our viewers on Twitch will get to see the video one last time before we end.
Yes.
So bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for organizing, and congrats, Jonah.
See you.
Thanks, everyone.